Hi everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. Today is a video showing case studies for Yin Wood Daily Master born in the winter season. So let's dive into the first example. This is a Yin Wood Yi born in November. So the annual pillar is Yin Earth and Yin Water. The monthly pillar is Yin Wood and Yin Water. The daily pillar is Yin Wood and Yin Fire. And the hourly pillar is Yin Fire and Yin Water. So the first step of analyzing Bazi is to see what's the condition of this daily master. Am I strong? Am I weak? Is it too wet? Is it too dry? Or too hot or cold? So looking at the bottom row of the major theme here is way too much water, especially this position number 6 has the most influential role in setting the tone for a Bazi chart. It doesn't have any wood sitting on the bottom row, which could be ideal for a strong rooting system to combat the water overwatering or this cold season, but too bad it doesn't have this wood sitting on the bottom. It has a friend sitting next to itself, giving it some support, but positionally it's not as effective as another wood sitting on the bottom row. And as I mentioned in the prior episode, the number one favorable element will be a yang fire because it balances that external ecosystem. Does it have a yang fire? No, it has a yin fire. So, hey, at least it's a fire, so it's better than more water in the Bazi chart. And on top of it, it has a good friend sitting on the bottom supporting itself. So overall speaking, it's still a fairly imbalanced Bazi chart, even though I have fire showing up. The reason is that first, it's not a yang fire type. And the second is this rooting system is being attacked by too much yin water around it because water suppresses fire. So this rooting friend, even though it's there, is not much help to support this yin fire, which is fairly weak to begin with. So it has the medicine to cope with it, but the medicine is not strong enough. That's why it's still kind of an imbalanced Bazi chart. It really craved that more wood and fire element during the annual or 10-year trend to give it like a boost and to make it a more favorable time of this person's life. And another analysis process is, I said, if there's too much water, the remedy could be using dry earth to suppress the water, so you kind of keep it under control. However, you have an earth here, but it's an Yin Earth type. So Yin Earth is not as effective of controlling a lot of water in comparison to Yang Earth. So even though you have an earth, it's not as useful. So that's why it's not like it's kind of a mediocre Bazi chart. Is still lacking quite a bit of strong factor to keep itself in balance. And the second example is a Yin Wood born in December. So the annual pillar, the yearly pillar is a Yang metal and Yang metal. The monthly pillar is a Yang Earth and Yang Water. The daily pillar is a Yin Wood and Yin Fire. And the hourly pillar is a Yang Fire and Yang Water. So the same analysis process. This one doesn't have a good wood rooting system either. It has this position number 6, water, and then another water. So it's still setting that quite cold and wet tone to begin with. And on top of it, it doesn't have another wood to help itself either anywhere, either on the bottom or the top row. So my logic then goes to find, does this have other medicine to combat this too cold and wet environment? I want Yang fire. Fortunately, this person has a Yang fire sitting right there. It also has a good supporting system. even though this yang fire is still being attacked by the water, it's not as damaged as the first example because there's 3 waters. It's still not ideal, it's weakened, but relatively speaking, it's still like, it's like a weak but still a little useful friend supporting this yang fire, um, doing its work to keep this 八字 good 八字 chart. And on top of it, you have this yang earth type sitting right on top of the water. So it's playing a helper role to keep water under control because earth suppresses water. So overall, if you compare the 2 examples, this is still a same logic of I crave more wood and fire to help me, give me more strength to keep me in balance. However, this one is, the starting point is in a much better position compared to the first example because it has a yang fire and a relatively more effective rooting system and another helper of yang earth to control this too much water risk. So yeah, both the first and second example really like wood and fire. Those are their favorable element, but the degree of desire differ quite a bit. So this is a better Bazi chart because the foundation is less unbalanced compared to the first one. And the third example is a Yin Wood born in January. So the yearly pillar is a Yang Water and Yang Fire. The monthly pillar is a Yin Water and Yin Earth. The daily pillar is a Yin Wood and Yin Metal. And the hourly pillar is a Yin Metal and Yin Fire. So the same thing. It's a fairly weak Yin Wood because I don't have any wood rooting system or any wood helping myself. I have quite a bit of water sitting on the top row, which is not really what I desire because this Yin Earth birth months already kind of paint that wet and cold environment. I don't really need this much water showing up to make it even worse, right? And second step, do I have this yang fire favorable element I want? It's all buried on the earthly branch row. So you have a yin fire sitting here and the yang fire sitting here. So those are my my friends to help me balance. Ideally, you want to have another yang fire showing up on the top row to make it even a better Bazi chart. But having something is better than nothing. So overall, this Bazi chart also likes more wood and fire to keep itself in balance. But the problem of this Bazi chart is those 3 letters happen to form that 3 combination earthly branch relationship. So remember that triangle chart when I had that deep dive of earthly branch episode, you have one type of earthly branch from each 3 consecutive seasons. So 4, this yin fire, that's the beginning of a summer season, that's an initiation type. And you, this yin metal, that is the pure type for the fall season. And chou, this yin earth, that's the storage type for the winter season. So when you have those type of 3 players forming a strong triangle, they morph the qi into a very strong metals qi. So because of this 3 combination relationship, it ended up reducing the strength of this fire because it's more being sucked into forming this metals energy. That's why it kind of weakened the favorable element I want. It only left a little yang fire sitting on the bottom there far away from myself. So it's not as effective or strong as maybe this example, right? Having a yang fire sitting there was a fairly okay supporting system and another yang earth helping coping with the water. This case, there's only one little guy fighting all of this water and metal energy. So it's quite imbalanced. And that's why this one also likes more wood and fire element being introduced during this annual 10-year trend to make his life more smoother, or just feeling like when I try to do something, I have a higher chance of being successful. I don't run into as many hurdles. So that's how you analyze a Bazi chart. I hope you enjoyed the series, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.